The TTPS is here on now. It is Monday, a beautiful one at that. And let me say good morning and welcome to Inspector Michelle Lewis.
Good morning to you both and good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. It is a pleasure to be here this morning with you all.
It's a pleasure to have you here as per usual.
Yes.
Now, one of the things I'm really happy about for this conversation is that, you know, the TTPS is recognizing the importance of being involved in the community and having the community engage with the TTPS.
Yes, yes
So
indeed.
tell me a little bit about how we celebrating that this morning.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It is one of the strategies within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service strategic plan and the operating plan for 2024. It is actually our first priority, increasing the relationship with the community, building and increasing the trust and confidence that we have, generally speaking, ensuring that persons feel that level of safety with the service, not just the community service, but also with the patrols and other engagements that we have. So as an organization, as a law enforcement organization, we react, so we do the proactive and we do the reactive policing, right? So this morning, we look at the officers who actually go out from day to day to provide the service in the midst of all the sometimes bad news that are outside there that could really affect your psyche as a police officer and the delivery of the service that you have to give. Now, we know that there are officers who do the bad, who don't give the level of customer service that we expect. We know that that exists and it is being treated with. But that is not to say that we would not encourage and compliment the officers who are actually out there on the ground every day, leaving their homes, because policing is a high risk, one of those high risk careers and jobs that persons actually engage in. And we still have young persons saying, yes, I want to be a police officer. Yesterday I was in a community doing a community engagement. And a young girl, about 8 years old, and she wants to be a police officer. So even though it was a Sunday, I had on my uniform and I was out there speaking with them and encouraging them to, be good role models, one, at a young age, do what is right, obey the law, and once you do all that you're required to do as a young person, you grow in that way, you're going to be anybody you want to be, including a police officer. So, and then Saturday, I was doing a patrol within the Western Division along the Eastern Main Road. And there was a business owner there who had a little challenge, so he pulled the police vehicle aside and was engaging me. And I mentioned to him about the stakeholder partnership and the station councils that exist within the station. And so I encouraged him to be part of St. James Police Station Council, where he, as a businessman or as a stakeholder in the St. James community, can meet with the inspector, the sergeant, and other stakeholders in the community to indicate, give suggestions, have some concerns that you have, and raise it there that it can be dealt with. Because the problem that he mentioned to me on Saturday is something he says he has been experiencing for a while. So this morning, as an organization, we recognize that some of the strategies that we are working, that we are using and implementing, are in fact working. We are seeing the outcomes within police youth clubs, within police town meetings, and you have seen the increases in police town meetings. And we really want to thank the public, the general public, the everyday person, for that faith in the police and for restoring, helping us, because it is you and I working together to cause that to happen.
Inspector, you just dropped some gems in that conversation. Speaking about, firstly, the council, is this something that is in every district?
Yes, it is.
And can anybody be a member?
Yes.
And what do? You just walk into the police station and say, I want to be a member of your council?
Correct.
Basically, yeah, basically.
Correct. So in every station district, like St. James and Diego Martin Forward, whichever station district, the station itself has a station council.
Okay.
And further to that, or added to that, there are also the town meetings that happen within the station districts. So the officers, the police officers in the community will have the meetings, and you have a one-on-one then. And then they also establish an organization, like an NGO, for simple reference, where the community stakeholders, persons who have business, teacher, the principal, the counselor, different persons from the community actually meet at particular times of the week to discuss the community.
Now, in addition to what you just mentioned there, what other strategies are being employed to bring this community engagement to the fore?
Of course, we have the police youth clubs. And one of the things that we have also noted and within the organization is the use of the body-worn cameras. And so with the increase of the use of the body-worn cameras, that will also increase the public trust and confidence within the organization and with outside the organization with members of the public. So that these strategies...
That's provided that we get to see the footage.
Well, the footage is not really for public view because it could be for evidential value, right? So it is important that we do not put it out there, lest it lose its credibility in a court of law, right? Because it is really captured for that purpose as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inspector, in engaging the communities, what are some of the challenges that you guys would have had to overcome? Because you mentioned having to restore the faith in the police service. So tell me about some of the challenges that you guys would have had to overcome in this situation to be able to get to this point and say, yeah, we feel a lot more comfortable with the community engagement.
One of the things that we have experienced, persons who make reports will indicate, well, I've made a report and the police didn't get back to me and tell me something about it. So what we're trying to do now, what we have started to do is increase that response and that communication with somebody, a victim, and let them know that, okay, your matter has not been forgotten. It is just, this we have done this.
Lying low.
The matter, yeah. So just to keep that so that you know that because it's not that the matter is not being dealt with, but because of lack of communication, the person feels that the matter is not being treated with. Even a matter that's before the court, because really when the matter goes before the court doesn't really want to see the victim until the matter is for trial. But the officer will be attending court all the time. So with that officer just informing that victim, that virtual complainant that, matter was today, it is postponed to that, just that simple communication increases that trust and confidence within the organization and within the police.
Is this something that's tracked, that communication? Will you be able to go back and check the logs and see that, all right, the complainant was informed at a particular period of time? So
we do have official telephone message registers, but outside of that, officers will call. Sometimes officers use a personal cell phone, which you can track, but we do have an official telephone message register that officers can use to track, as well as email.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are some of the things. So we really want to thank the police service, the commissioner, the executive. Really want to thank both the internal and the external stakeholders for where we are right now. We are not exactly where we want to be. We are getting there, but it's important to take a moment and recognize the efforts of everybody and say thanks for it. We continue to work with you. We continue to partner with you. And we really, really want that engagement to continue. Come out to the police town meetings, send your children out to police youth club meetings, and call us and let us know when we have given bad service. It's not that we want it public on social media, but call your senior super and let the senior super know. Call the ASP, and let us know that we can rectify the problem.
I have to laugh at that in particular, because when you mention, of course, the camera footage, the access to the camera footage, and what we see on social media sometimes, it definitely makes us lean towards the fact that there's some more work that we all need to do.
But here's why I chuckle now, because the last phone call that we heard publicly with the police service didn't go so well when it comes to complaining about things.
I recognize that, And then sometimes too, with information on social media, you get a fraction of what, and not the full story of what actually happened, and there's where the webcam comes in to give a full story. But of course, the members of the public will not know that, because it may be for evidence. Right? So we may not. So you might be only seeing the bad part that the person chooses to put out. But when the matter go before the court, it might take a totally different spin.
So when that happens, so somebody has their own footage, and then you have the, for want of a better expression, the official footage.
The body cam footage.
The body cam footage, right? And then you go into the court. Is it possible that sometimes what's been released in the public sphere can actually inhibit and influence, the actual process itself? Right.
So if someone just takes a bite, a small fraction of it, right? The intent of the court is to get the full story, exactly what happened, to be able to
make a proper assessment and
judgment. Make a proper assessment, right? So you use the word official and unofficial. The police service uses both the evidence from the body cam as well as footage from anybody's private system, which are also official. Right? So the law provides that can be entered into evidence, and assist in any matter whatsoever. The importance here is that having the full content to be able to determine the matter, right? And not just taking that caption and running with it, right? So a lot of times that is what we see happening. And so sometimes there's an agenda.
Yeah.
We know that from time to time the police service is caught up in the mix, but it's also important to know that we as an independent body really wants to carry out our responsibilities and duty effectively and efficiently to please the public, because we know that crime does affect everyone and it is really a serious matter. And so with the community engagement that the police service is involved in, we are seeing that increase taking place and the relationship with the public and the police.
Inspector, how can the public continue to assist the police service to be able to say we have this community engagement going on a national level and everybody is involved, all the good and right citizens of Trinidad and Tobago?
So again, if you see something, say something. More than that, it has always been said, and it is truth, that a village raises a child. And so the police cannot be everywhere. But if you see a young person doing something, say it to that young person in a good way, not in a derogatory manner that will cause the child to be disrespectful.
Right.
Right? But you give constructive criticism so that that child understands what you are saying and the child moves away from that behavior, like gang activities, smoking, vaping and stuff like that, that, negatively impacts and affects that child in the future.
Definitely. I mean, you've mentioned some gems here this morning, that's for sure. And it's good to see that the community engagement continues to thrive. What would you say are some of the expected outcomes of this?
For one, we're expecting to see an increase with police neighborhood watch groups. And we have seen some communities that did not have the police neighborhood watch groups in seeing that trust and relationship with the police being built back. You are seeing more communities and all types of communities, let me just put that on there, right? All types of communities wanting police officers to be on their WhatsApp community chat so that when an incident happens, a home invasion or something happens, there's a police there to be able to respond quickly. So those are some of the expectant, those are some of the things that we are seeing, and we really thank the public for it.
Wonderful. And it's great to have you here with us every Monday so we can continue to share with the public what's going on and see what's going on, because accountability is key when it comes to community engagement as well. Well, Inspector Lewis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us here. As usual, you all are key in this relationship and in this engagement, so we don't want to not say thank you to TTT for
Most welcome, Inspector.
Have a wonderful day, gentlemen.
It is our pleasure. Every Monday, of course, the TTPS is here with us in studio. Make sure that you tune in so you know what's going on. And stay tuned, because your birthdays are coming up right after this break on Now.